Hey, all right, welcome back to Raff's Brain, a show about things that are interesting to me. I am your host, Rob Rafferty. Raff's Brain, man, it's my playground for zany stories, adventures in connection, collaboration, technology, all sorts of goofy stuff. Bottom line is, I have back on the show, Riffin with Raff, one of my recurring guests, one of my favorite guests. I think one of my audience's favorite guests too. I'm just kind of making that up a little bit.
I hope so.
But Grauben Lara, the one and only, my friends, we have so much to discuss. We're gonna keep it tight. I'm gonna try to focus in on this here. But this guy, right now, I'm sitting with he's like a legend. He always were a legend in my mind. Like it was about a year ago you started getting into content.
About a year and a month or so, something like that.
He was already blowing up, a million view hits here and there. But dude, I really want to go deep on your World Cup coverage, which I think has really, I don't know, to me it seems like this is taking you to another level at this point.
Something different, something else for sure.
So first of all, why did you even get involved in starting to document the World Cup?
I don't know, I was doing a lot of before we were doing like liberty-oriented stuff, we were like covering like news topics, things like that. And I was feeling like burnt out. It's like, again, at that point I had done it for about 11 months. And
you had some successes, man. You had one was like 3 million plus hit. I mean, like,
yeah, I had one that was almost 4 million views. I had a couple like million views here and there. Videos. I just feel like I was posting minimum like 3-4 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
There were times where I was posting every single day. In a given week. And I don't know, I was just feeling burnt out by like the content, like the ideas, by like what was going on in the world. And the World Cup was coming up, and I did go up playing soccer, but I feel like I kind of fell out of love with like soccer.
You blew your knee out a couple of months ago too, right?
my ankle.
You still play around, you mess around.
I play around, but I don't really like watch or follow as much as I used to when I was growing up.
Okay.
And like I said, it was coming around, the World Cup was coming up, and I was like, oh, it could be like fun. I made some like, I don't know, some like ranking videos, some like dumb video where I was like, best stadiums to watch, like the most iconic World Cup stadium for this year. And like number 1 was like Kansas City, because I don't know, to me it just seemed so random. People got mad about that. But then the World Cup started. I went to a watch party on the very first day, and I started making some videos, and then they just blew up. So in the past 30 days since I started, I should say in the 30 days from like when the World Cup started to roughly around now, I've gotten about 10.5 million views.
Gosh, and how many videos? Because you're doing like one every other day or so, it seems like. Is that right? Or
Yeah, about.
Sometimes it's been 3 days.
I've done like 3-4 videos in one day before.
Yeah, I've seen that. You
How
stack
many
them
videos?
sometimes.
I don't know how many videos, to be honest.
We're gonna aggregate
They must
this.
be like around 30, probably a little bit more than 30.
Dude, that's remarkable. That's really exciting. So from my memories, did you actually start making World Cup related content before the thing started? Did you kind of get primed into it, or was it kind of like, okay, it just started, now I'm going to start making it?
It was like a week or two before it started.
Yeah.
I made like 2 or 3 videos, just for fun. Just like I didn't know that I was going to be making World Cup content. I just thought it was kind of funny because I made one about like the U.S. and Iran, like, oh, they could potentially meet up.
That was hilarious. I'm going to drop links to my favorite ones in the show notes.
I was like, oh, this was funny.
Like,
like what if they met up in like the quarterfinal, you know?
And then you had like a nuclear bomb go off.
Yeah. And
that
so
was funny,
I made them again, just like it's like a funny joke. And then the day the World Cup started, I was just like so hyped, so entertained by like the opening game that I made a video. And then I was like, screw it, I'm gonna keep going. And then I did, and then I've had like a lot of successes. Like I've had a lot of like multiple multi-million view videos.
And the successes aren't just the views, which is cool. First of all, that's just a modicum that I have never reached. So, I mean, it's impressive. What is cool when I hear from you that we've been texting and stuff over the past weeks, and people are reaching out to you. First of all, you're getting a lot of comments on your stuff. Sometimes they're nasty, whatever, but that's always going to be out there. But you've actually had some people reach out to you to like get interested in like, hey, you want to make content for us or something like that. Tell us a little bit about how that unfolded.
So the first one that happened, this person didn't reach out to me, but I made a video, first U.S. game, so day 2 of the World Cup, I made a video.
Yeah.
Which that's an interesting story. Like, I'll share it in a second too. But the first person was, you know who Mia Khalifa is?
No, I don't.
She's an adult actress.
Okay.
Or she was an adult actress.
Okay.
And so she reposted one of my videos.
Whoa.
And she's like she has like tens of millions of
Okay.
followers. So for me, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like this woman is like between like doing whatever she's doing.
Right.
She saw my video, you know.
That's interesting.
And so like that happened, and then a few days later, I made a video at some point that was like top 3, like it was like best moments of the World Cup. And it was only like the first week of the World Cup at that
Yeah.
point. And so I highlighted some of my favorite stories from the World Cup, and I had like a couple of like sports betting companies reach out to me,
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want to make like videos for us?
Kalishi or whatever,
yeah.
going with the names. But the point is, like, different companies that do that.
So they reached out to me, and I was kind of like, I talked to you about it, because I didn't know how I felt about it. And ultimately, I kind of just said, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And then there was one sports company called, it looks like an app, I guess. It's called Buzzer, BZZR, who reached out. And at first I was like, I don't know what this is, but like cool, like they wanted to like have a meeting with me.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, we can have a meeting. Sure. And I looked up, it's like basically an app that's meant to be similar to like a social media app, like an Instagram or like a Facebook, but focused just on like sports content. So to even like be able to post on the app, you need to be verified by like their servers. And so I met with the team, and I didn't know, I expected to meet with like some like 18-year-old intern or something. And I met with like their director, like their head of marketing, who used to be a writer for the WWE, and I recognized his name was like Chris Dunn, and I was like, I know this guy.
Wow.
When I started talking to him, I was like, wait a minute, like I recognize this guy's like name, and so it kind of like hit me, especially the other day. I went on the app because he got me through the process. I'm a verified creator on Buzzer.
Yeah, we'll drop that link in the show notes. Check him out on BZZR, Buzzer.
And right now it's super experimental. Like they haven't even marketed it to like an actual audience. It's just like they want creators to go on and like figure out what they're doing and how to use the
What's your
platform.
lane on there right now? Is it just World Cup stuff?
Right now it's just like soccer, like World Cup stuff, like in general. So I really just started posting on it like 2 days ago.
Okay. I'll follow you.
But what was interesting when I went on a few days ago is like, again, I think it's because they're verifying people like as they go. They're looking at like the accounts and everything of people that they like. They reached out to me personally. Maybe either their search is not good, or I'm really just the only soccer person on the app right now. But when I look up soccer, I don't see anybody on it.
Dude, that's your lane, dude. Just own it.
There are a couple of like soccer-related podcasts. There are people who do like general sports who might touch on the World Cup. But as far as like an account that I found that like there's only soccer stuff, I haven't seen anybody. So I might be like one of the only ones doing it.
I'm not even that familiar with this as a sport in the United States. Is it active right now, or did they take a break for the World Cup, or like is it what season is that? Is it Major League Soccer?
So for Major League Soccer, actually their first game back, I think it's on Friday.
Nice.
I think it's like right before the World Cup ends.
You should just start commenting on that. Dude.
No, I was thinking about it.
I think it could be an interesting place. What I'm curious about is how they're going to promote BZZR. Do they have any prohibitions on you cross-posting, for instance? Can you post the same thing on Instagram and then just put them on Buzzer?
Oh, for sure. I mean, their whole thing is, what they don't want is they don't want like any sort of non-sports content.
Okay, so all sports. That's number one.
So I think if I were to post on Instagram something about, I don't know, again, something news related, I would not post it on Buzzer, for example.
Gotcha.
But I think I could definitely post
cross-post your
the same
sports. I wonder. This is where it gets very. I mean, it's a curiosity from more than anything. Some of your fans, followers, people that see you. I wonder if you made a promotional video for Buzzer on your Instagram channel. How many people would convert over to follow you there? Like, hey folks, I'm going to be posting a lot more on Buzzer. I'm going to keep posting here on Instagram. Thank you so much for all the love. But I'm trying to build up this brand over at Buzzer. It seems like a really cool place where, I don't know, however you describe it. I wonder if you could port over some of your most loyal fans there. And then, unlike Instagram, when you post, I bet Buzzer has a more dedicated thing where you can follow someone and always get their content. Or they could find you easily and see all your work. I don't know. I feel like one of the critiques of all the platforms now is because they're no longer really follower-based, they're more like interest-based. So maybe Buzzer's going to have a unique role there. I don't know. That's very exciting.
I don't know what their algorithm will look like. But there are more options with like Buzzer, and as far as like sports go, because you're able to like live stream things. You can do lives obviously on like TikTok or Instagram, but they're working on getting rights to certain like leagues. Yeah. So that way, if I wanted to stream like an MLS game on Buzzer, I can watch it on Buzzer like with my audience, for example, or with other people. I don't know. There's other like things like that you can potentially do. Just to make it a little bit different than like an Instagram.
Yeah, so as we wrap up here, what is one takeaway you've had for the past 30 days? You're getting ready to, I mean, we're close, we're approaching the end of the World Cup. First of all, 2 questions. Do you have anything in mind? Maybe you don't have to give us a big reveal. You could say teaser, yeah, stay tuned. Or maybe you're just like, Raff, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm just wondering, like, it's going to end soon. Are you going to put like a bow on this and say, like a culminating video that recaps everything? I don't know. Like, how do you think about that as a concluding moment that you can get the attention of your audience? Okay, folks, congratulations to whoever won, and thanks so much. It's been a great, I don't know if you're thinking about that. And then secondly, over the whole thing, like one big memory, takeaway, experience, something you're excited that you're going to like take forward in the next round or whatever you do.
Yeah, as far as like one big like ending, you know, like a big bow on it, I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
You don't have to. It's just, I don't even know. Maybe that makes sense.
I guess I don't. Maybe I don't think strategically enough.
That's good.
But like for me, I don't want to. I don't. So for example, I posted a video the other day. It was when the U.S. had lost their game against Belgium. And so my video was like how it started.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then like,
how it ended.
And, it's like,
and people were like, "He's got." Like I saw the comments.
There were comments. People were like, "Oh, like we're gonna miss you posting about this stuff."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, this isn't my like goodbye post. This is just like I'm just sentimental right now."
Yeah.
You know. So I actually lost a few followers after I posted that video, and I think it's because people saw that.
Out. Yeah.
And I think they actually thought I was out. So I don't want to post like another like goodbye.
Right. So I'm just gonna. I'm giving some thoughts in real time. Maybe it's not a goodbye post, but it's like, hey, I'm gonna keep posting on stuff. So keep. I don't know what you do there. Maybe there's something to do there. You shouldn't listen to me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just giving you some thoughts because it does seem like there's gonna be a culminating moment. And then another thing I've suggested is, well, you should answer their question first. Sorry. What was the other question? What was a big takeaway? One big lesson? One like exciting insight that you think? I have a perspective as an observer and fan of yours, but you can tell me, like, as the creator, what have you taken away from this?
So I think that when I like first started making videos, like a year ago or so, I would watch stuff on YouTube on like how to make videos and like what that looks like. And there are a lot of people who are like, this takes time. This takes like a year, 2 years, 3 years before like anything really like happens, like before you really pop up. And in my mind, I was like, nah, like that's not like it can't take that long. And I actually like believe now, like, oh, actually it probably does. Like I'm still like, even though I had the success in the past month, I still feel like I'm like growing and learning. And to go back to like that original video I mentioned with Mia Khalifa with like that actress.
Yeah.
So that video is interesting in the sense that I've made that video before, but I just made it slightly different this time.
Interesting.
And so that video, the video is basically like how I feel about the U.S. men's team now after having like criticized the government and done this and this. So it's like me celebrating like them scoring a goal, and you know after like I've been criticizing for the past year. Right. And so that video this time around got like 1.5 million views, right? But I've literally made basically that exact same video during the Olympics when the U.S. men's hockey team was playing.
And it didn't get anywhere near that.
It got like 500,000.
Okay,
it
so
did pretty
something
well.
about that.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is the only reason I was able to make that video this time and be successful was because I experimented with it and had made it 6 months ago.
And it's a recurring idea that kind of came back. Wow, that's pretty cool.
I would say I think a lot of the formats that you see me use or that I have used in this past month or so, I've used before.
But not in this way.
But not in this way.
It's a new subject matter.
Exactly, but I don't think I would have been able to do well in this past month if I hadn't spent the past year experimenting with all these different like formats and topics and things like that. So again, I think in like when I did it in the past, some of them did well, some of them didn't. But I think you see the ones that do like relatively well, and you're like, oh, I could potentially use this as a format or something in the future.
Yeah.
And so I think when you're making content every single day, you're not always starting from scratch. If you have that base, that toolkit kind of built up.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So my observation as we wrap it up here, it's just been really fun to see you getting into a non-policy space that you're really passionate and excited about. And it kind of reminds me of something I think could be true. I believe it's true. I think there's data point towards that being true. I certainly hear this from certain influencers and content creators. You can make content about anything, literally anything. Chairs, coffee, microphones, anything. where you're going to succeed the most is if you're doing it on something that you're genuinely interested in, and that comes through. And I don't think it's a surprise that you succeeded in this, because you brought so much charisma and energy to the screen. I could tell that you were like really genuinely happy making this content. And it's like, as a consumer, when I encounter people, I can kind of sense if it's a fake or faux enthusiasm versus like a real, authentic happiness. And I was like, wow, Grauben's crushing it. And I don't know, man, it was just great to see. I saw a LinkedIn post she did like a weekend, like, hey folks, this has been a real fun kind of pivot for me. And now the one thing I'm sort of requesting as a fan, although of course it's just like anything, I make these requests and see what happens. I think it'd be fun just to take as an exercise all the videos you created, put all the links into it, AI, and just say like, what's the aggregate, data on this? What have I accomplished over the past 45 days or whatever it'll be once it's all done? And then what are some of the insights here? Like, what were some of the best performing videos, and why? Are there certain formats or approaches that I could take in the future? Maybe other people could learn from that too. So that's where I think the value is too. People can not just enjoy your content, but like me, I observe it and I appreciate it. Lists you do seem to be working well. Like, here are the 3 most important moments, and then I think it's interesting how you've cut in video, like documentary style footage of different players. And
right. Like,
by the way, how'd you find some of those stories? It's remarkable. Like, one dude almost couldn't walk or something, and then
the very first video that I made, I think it was like the 3 biggest stories of the World Cup. Those were basically just the 3 stories that I knew personally.
They became my 3 stories. I'm not like a super close follower, so I was like, to me, if someone was to ask me, I was like, oh my god, there's a guy here who almost couldn't walk, or some dude's mom died, or something like. I can't remember all the details. I was like,
so it's like the first video I made where I made that list. There were 3 stories that I personally knew about, because I had been watching and following. And then I put in the comments what did I miss? And people started commenting, oh, this person's mom did this, cool. Or this person did this. So I was like, cool, let me look into that. And then I made all these titles, 3 biggest moments of the World Cup, 3 craziest stories that you missed, or whatever it was. And so I would always comment what else did I miss, or and so people would comment, oh, in this country, this person did this and this. So then I would use that for another video, maybe, So that's how I would gather stories.
Any fun one last thing, just the craziest thing maybe that someone reached out to you, or fan engagement, or someone who
craziest one,
or just something that was unexpected, I guess.
I don't know. I have one guy, and I think he's Australian, and so he kind of settled down now. Okay. But at some point I made some video where I was Balogun, our striker, he's the best English striker in the entire world, right? Because he plays for the U.S., but he's actually English nationality. Right. Pulisic, he's the best Croatian player in the entire world. Right. But whatever. So it was kind of one of those excitement, overhyping the U.S. team. Yeah. And ever since that video, he would comment whenever I would do a speaking video. He would comment, and he would just he wouldn't even say anything. If I for example, in a different video, I said tournament, and he wrote it's tournament, in a way I guess he would say it.
He's always
in his accent. Yeah. Well, it's not even criticism. It's just he's criticizing my accent and the way I speak, I guess. Yeah. So that's just kind of a silly thing.
Dude, you're in his head.
Yeah.
That must feel great. You rattled some dude. That's hilarious.
I rattled some. Yeah, he follows me. So
he follows you. That's even better. I love it. Listen, man, this is awesome. Congratulations on this. You're just getting started. Folks should follow Grauben Lara. I'm going to drop all the links in here. If you don't already, it's just very cool to see how it's taken off, and it's not even been that long since you started doing this aggressively. We'll see where it goes next, but I think it's been awesome. So thanks for catching up with us, and we'll see you next time, folks. Take it easy.